Take a look at this guy. He's taking an English exam and he's answering a question. Now, which do you think is more important? The quality of his answer or the quantity of his answer? What do you think? Very often in English, we have this debate between quality and quantity. Which one is more important? Well, I think most students are really worried about the quality of their answers. Okay, that they're worried about if they say the wrong thing, they're worried about their pronunciation, they're worried about their grammar, they're worried about the quality, okay? Now, I think the more important aspect is quantity. I mean, they're both very important, quality and quantity, but when you take an English exam, I think the quantity is more important than the quality, and this is why, okay? Look at this. The person who's going to be marking the guy's exam is looking at this list of criteria. Okay, this is how he's going to give the guy his exam marks. Okay, look at this. Okay, here we have our categories. So we have content and coherence. Content, what did the person say, or what did the person write? Okay, look at this. Number of ideas, quality of ideas, okay, right here, the very first two, we have the quality versus quantity debate, okay? So they're both very important. Quantity, the number of ideas, that means the quantity. Okay, the quality of ideas, the organization of ideas, if it's structured well, okay, organization, that's important. Examples and supporting details, word choice, okay, now we're into vocabulary, suitable use of words and phrases, range of words and phrases, precision and accuracy, and then we have listenability. Okay, that means, is it easy to understand the person? How is the person's pronunciation, rhythm, intonation, pauses, interjections, self-correction, grammar, sentence structure, variety of sentence structure. Okay, then we're into task fulfillment, relevance, completeness, tone, length. Okay, now let's say you're answering a question where you have to speak for 1 minute on some topic, okay? And you just start talking, you talk a lot. Suddenly, the minute's up, you get cut off, and you didn't finish your story, okay? Then you might lose some marks on the length, but that's okay, because you got so many other marks over here in these things. Okay, let's say you ended your speaking 10 seconds early, okay, and you had a nice ending to your story. Okay, then you might get marks here for length, but you lose so many marks that you could have gotten. Okay, for example, look at this, the range of words and phrases. So that means how many different kinds of words you can use. You know, if you say, his house was nice, his car was nice, he was a nice guy. Okay, you're using the word nice too much. Okay, you should use other words. That's what range means. Range of vocabulary. His house was spectacular. His car was fantastic. He was a really generous guy. Okay, that means you have a good range of words. Okay, so if you use, if you get marks here, it doesn't really matter if you lose marks in one area. Okay, don't worry about one area. Look, your exam mark starts at 0. Okay, so when you go to the exam, you have 0. Okay, you've already failed. You need to get marks. Okay, so it starts at 0 and it builds up like this. It doesn't start at 100% and then go backwards. You don't lose marks for every mistake you're making. Okay, the person who's checking your exam is not thinking, okay, they made a mistake, lost 5%, lost 5%, lost 10%. Okay, it's not like that. It's like this. It starts at 0, and you have to use a lot of English to get marks. All right, so my number one tip would be, don't worry about your mistakes. Increase the content. Okay, content means like the quantity. How much are you saying? How much are you writing? Write more. Speak more. Now, with listening and reading, you can't really increase the content, but in future lessons, I'm going to give you some tips on listening and on reading. Okay, so if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, make sure you click on the subscribe button right down there. Okay, so I want you to remember this. The purpose of an English exam is to test your English ability. That's it. It's not to test your test-taking skills, although that could be helpful. If you're very good at taking tests, you have good strategies, okay, that would be helpful. But that's not the purpose of the test. Also, the purpose of the exam is not to test your morals and values. It doesn't matter what your morals and values are. For example, let's say you have an opinion question on the exam, and the question says, should children be allowed to drink alcohol? And you say, yes. Yes, children should be allowed to drink alcohol because of this. You give your reasons, some examples. Wow, that's a great answer. Now, the person who's marking your exam might think, wow, this person has terrible values, terrible morals, but their English is really good. Okay, they don't care about your morals. They might think you have bad morals, but it doesn't matter because the purpose of the test is English, not values, nothing else, just English. So remember, it's all about English, just English. Don't worry about your opinions. Don't worry about what the person who's marking it is going to think of you. You're never going to meet him. Or if it's in IELTS, if you see him face to face, you're never going to see him again. It doesn't matter. So don't worry about what they think of you. So anyway, I want to know, have you ever been punished for being imperfect? I think this is very important because in our culture, all around the world, when people make mistakes, they get punished, right? When you were a kid, when you made mistakes, you got punished. Everyone gets punished for mistakes. And I think that makes us worried about quality instead of quantity. Okay, it makes us become perfectionists. I'm a perfectionist, so I understand that if you're worried about making mistakes, I'm the same way. I completely understand your fear of making mistakes. But you know what? I'm trying to become less of a perfectionist. I'm trying to be more accepting of myself and other people if they're imperfect. It's very hard, but why don't you join me on a journey to be less perfect? Don't punish yourself. Don't punish other people for being perfect, and don't let other people punish you for being imperfect. But anyway, let me know your answer to this question down there in the comments, and I'll see you over in the next episode of Mad English TV. Take care.